So, when you hear the term survival gun, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably something straight out of a movie, right? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise. This is not about what looks cool or what's trending online. Nope, this is a no-nonsense guide to the firearms that could actually keep you going when everything else has stopped. And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the matter. It is so easy to get caught up in the image of being prepared. The tactical gear, the massive calibers. But there is a huge difference between looking ready and being ready. What really happens when the shelves are empty and you are truly 100% on your own? That's the real test. And that's the lens we're going to be using today. Every single firearm in this explainer has been judged by one incredibly brutal standard: long-term solo survival. Think of it as our filter. It means absolutely zero outside support, no easy resupply runs. The tool has to work, period. It has to be something you can maintain yourself, and it has to be something you can carry, maybe for a very long time. It's a super high bar, and as you're about to see, it completely changes the conversation. So where do we even begin? Well, with the most fundamental survival need there is, food. I mean, before anything else, you've got to be able to feed yourself. So our first category is all about firearms built for sustenance. Let's take a look at the tools designed for exactly that job. First up, we've got the Savage Arms 42. Now, this is a modern take on the classic M6 survival rifle, which was actually designed for downed Air Force pilots. So you know it comes from a lineage of pure no-frills utility. It's not flashy at all, but as we're about to see, it is unbelievably practical. And here is the absolute genius of its design. It's an over-under combination gun. What does that mean? It means you get two tools in one. You've got a 22 long rifle barrel right on top for taking small game, think squirrels, rabbits, with real precision. Then, right underneath, you have a 410 bore shotgun barrel. That's perfect for birds on the wing or, heck, even larger game if you're in a real pinch. It's just maximum versatility in one incredibly simple package. So what does this actually mean for someone in a survival scenario? Well, first off, the ammunition for both of these calibers is incredibly light. You can carry hundreds of rounds without getting weighed down. Second, the rifle breaks down with just the push of a button, so it can just disappear inside a pack. It's the ultimate tool for pest control and putting food in the pot. And get this, Savage even includes a dedicated bag for it. Next up in the Forager's toolkit is an absolute icon, the Henry AR-7. For decades, this little rifle has been a favorite of pilots and backpackers. And trust me, there's a very good reason for that. It is the literal definition of a pack rifle. I mean, just look at this design. The barrel, the action, and two magazines, they all break down and store completely inside the stock. That stock isn't just waterproof, it actually floats if you happen to drop it in a river. The whole thing weighs just 3.5 pounds, it's chambered in the super common 22 LR, and you can put it together in seconds without a single tool. It's an entire survival system you can literally hold in your hands. Okay, so we've covered foraging. That's critical. But what happens when you can't stay in one place? What if you have to be on the move, maybe discreetly? That's where our next category comes in, the Packable Performers. Here, mobility and just staying under the radar are the name of the game. And we are starting with something truly unconventional, the Trailblazer Pivot. This rifle completely rethinks what it means to be compact. It uses a design that, well, you really have to see it to believe it. So how in the world does this work? It's brilliantly simple. You press one button, and the entire top half of the rifle, the barrel, your optic, everything pivots a full 180 degrees and nests right alongside the bottom half. Just think about that for a second. You have a rifle with a full-length, 16-inch barrel for good accuracy, but it collapses into a package that's barely longer than that barrel itself. It's just an incredible feat of engineering, all in the name of portability. Next up is the Kel-Tec SU-16C. Now, if the pivot is all about that innovative folding action, the SU-16C is about packing serious rifle firepower, and we're talking about intermediate cartridges here, into a super lightweight foldable platform. They can be a little tough to find sometimes, but for anyone who wants a bit more punch in their pack, it's a very compelling option. This comparison really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? When you look at the table, you can really see the trade-offs. The SU-16C gives you that awesome rifle power, and it's the lightest of the bunch, but it's also the longest when it's folded. The pivot has that one-of-a-kind action. And then you have the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, which folds down to an incredibly short 16 inches, because it fires common pistol calibers. Each one offers a different solution to the same problem. How do you carry a capable rifle without it weighing you down? But what if you need one tool that can do more than just hunt or be packed away, right? What if your survival situation calls for a true all-rounder? This next category is all about those robust platforms that can handle pretty much everything, from hunting larger game all the way to defense. One tool for many jobs. And we absolutely have to start with the Ruger Mini 14. For more than 5 decades, this thing has been the quintessential Granch rifle. It's a proven design that has earned a legendary reputation for being tough, reliable, and just incredibly versatile. You know, the heart of the Mini 14 is its Grant-style action, which is famous for being ridiculously robust. We're talking about a design that was proven on the battlefields of World War II, known for its reliability in the absolute worst conditions. But this is no museum piece. Ruger has constantly updated it with modern features, like a heavier barrel for better accuracy and an improved gas system. And with options from .23 all the way to .300 blackout, it is still an incredibly capable and relevant platform for almost any task you can throw at it. Now, for a more modern take on the all-rounder, we've got the CMMG Descent. This rifle was born from a very specific and pretty clever idea. Create a modern rifle that could be compliant in states with really heavy firearm restrictions, but without sacrificing key features. And the crucial difference is right here. On the left, you see a standard AR-15. It's got that buffer tube and a separate pistol grip, features that are often targeted by legislation. But on the right, the Descent cleverly gets around this by using a traditional one-piece shotgun-style stock. This one simple change gives it a completely different legal profile, while still letting it use standard AR-15 magazines and modern free-floated handguards. It's just a really smart solution. All right, for our final category, we're looking at specialized tools. These are firearms that deliver an overwhelming amount of power in a very, very compact form factor. We're not talking about hunting squirrels here. These are for when you need a decisive advantage and you need it in a small package. And here it is, the Mossberg 940 Aftershock. If you're familiar with the super compact Mossberg Shockwave, think of this as its bigger, faster, and maybe meaner brother. It takes that same compact idea, but adds the blistering speed of a semi-automatic action. This firearm is all about putting immense firepower on target and doing it fast. Being a semi-auto 12-gauge means you can send 6 rounds downrange without ever having to manually pump the action. That is a huge advantage. It's got a durable gas system built for reliability, and notice the oversized controls. They're designed to be easy to find and use when you're under stress. Its compact size makes it pretty much perfect as a truck gun or for the tight spaces of home defense. So after looking at all these different tools, from foragers to all-arounders, it all comes back to these 4 core principles: portability, versatility, reliability, and simplicity. Every single firearm we've talked about excels in these areas, just in its own way. These are the questions you have to ask yourself, because in a real crisis, they are what separate useful gear from useless garbage. And that leaves us with one final critical question for you to think about. Look at your own preparations, your own gear, and just ask yourself honestly, when things really get tough, is what you have going to be an asset that helps you move forward? Or is it going to be an anchor that just weighs you down? Really think about that.